Schools of philosophy in the Islamic world, Brethren of Purity. The Brethren of Purity emerged during a time when the Abbasid Caliphate was losing power, and disagreements in religion, philosophy and politics were on the rise. This group, through their studies in philosophy and science and their religious and moral efforts, aimed to intellectually restructure Islamic society by promoting unity, brotherhood, cooperation and solidarity. The full name of the community, which they chose themselves, was Brethren of Purity and People of Fidelity, and Upholders of Justice and Sons of Glory. However, who founded them, when and where they emerged, where and until when they continued their activities, and to which segment of Islamic society they belonged, are all subjects that have been debated by both Eastern and Western researchers for many years. The Brethren of Purity kept the names of their members secret, even in the treatises they wrote themselves, adopted secrecy as a principle in their work, and did not allow outsiders to attend the meetings they organized to discuss scientific matters. This understanding of secrecy created the impression that the community was a secret organization and fueled discussions about their identities. This situation also led to uncertainty about who the author or authors of the epistles of the Brethren of Purity were. Although they did not mention it themselves, ancient sources list 5 names as the founders of this community and the authors of the treatises: Zayd b. Rifa'a, Abu Sulaiman Muhammad b. Mashar al-Busti al-Maqdisi Muqaddasi, Abul Hasan Ali b. Harun al-Zanjani, Abu Ahmad al-Mihrijani, and Awfi. The Brethren of Purity began their activities in Basra and continued there for a long time. At that time, Basra was an important center of science and culture in the Islamic world. The Brethren of Purity, who carried out their work in secrecy out of fear of the ruling powers of the time, their interpretations in their treatises, their emphasis on the superiority of the household of the Prophet, and their use of expressions such as Shia and our Shia about their own group, support the view that they belong to the Shia sect. The Brethren of Purity expressed their thoughts in religious and philosophical sciences in their work titled The Epistles of the Brethren of Purity, which consists of a total of 52 treatises. These treatises, because they reflect the scientific and philosophical level of Islamic thought in the 10th century with an encyclopedic approach, have led modern researchers to call the members of the Brethren of Purity Islamic encyclopedists. The Brethren of Purity, emerging from religious and moral concerns, aimed to eliminate bigotry, conflicts of thought and sects, spread the feeling of brotherhood and cooperation, and purify religion and philosophy, which they believed had been contaminated by misinformation and wrong ideas. They drew from different sources in doing so, and used all kinds of information they could access, whether religious, philosophical or scientific, with an unbiased approach. The influence of Pythagoras, and especially Neoplatonism, is significant in the metaphysical explanations of the Brethren of Purity. However, they gave more importance to the Quran and Hadiths because they lived in a Muslim society and were Muslims themselves. The Brethren of Purity, due to the nature of their thought, which was nourished by different sources, compiled and evaluated all kinds of information available in their time, and stated that they took their knowledge from 4 main sources. First, books on mathematics and physics written by wise people and philosophers. Second, holy books such as the Torah, the Gospel and the Quran, and pages revealed to prophets through angels. Third, books on astronomy, geology and botany that discuss the movements of the stars, the constellations and the structure of beings. And fourth, divine books revealed by God through inspiration to pure and clean people. The Brethren of Purity, who aimed to acquire knowledge about all beings in the universe, begin their quest for knowledge with mathematics, in line with the Pythagorean Platonic understanding of philosophy, because according to the Brethren of Purity, mathematics is a science that leads man to the oneness of God and the existence of the Creator. Logic, on the other hand, is the measure of philosophy and the tool of the philosopher, since philosophy is the highest level that man can reach after prophecy. Logic, which is the measure of philosophy and the tool of the philosopher, must also be the highest measure and tool. Therefore, according to the Brethren of Purity, logic is both a branch of science in itself and a tool that helps other sciences. It is also seen in the treatises that there is a similarity between logic and mathematics in terms of their functions. While the purpose of mathematics is to direct man from things perceived by the senses to things grasped by the mind, logic acts as a bridge in the transition from physics to metaphysics. The Brethren of Purity build their understanding of philosophy on mystical and moral values. Therefore, their approach to philosophy is closer to the Pythagorean and Socratic approach rather than the Aristotelian understanding. For the Brethren of Purity, philosophy is not limited to seeking the truth. It also has a practical and moral dimension that regulates one's words and actions. Reaching higher truths is in a way closely related to one's stance in practical life. Virtuous actions in practical life form a foundation for theoretical truths. Therefore, the Brethren of Purity combine philosophy with the concept of hikmet, which expresses the integrity of knowledge and behavior, and give both the same meaning. As a result of this approach, the Brethren of Purity define philosophy, similar to Plato's ideas, as man's resemblance to God as much as he can. This resemblance must occur both on the level of intellectual knowledge and in practical life. A philosopher, then, is one whose behavior is good, whose art is sound, who is truthful, who has good morals, whose thoughts are organized, whose work is clean, and whose knowledge is accurate. The philosophy of the Brethren of Purity is not a philosophy independent of religious rules. In this philosophy, the existence of a rigorous moral education, similar to Sufi spiritual discipline and self-purification, is striking. It is not possible to reach the door of wisdom without moral education. Indeed, they liken engaging in philosophy without attaining moral maturity to appearing before the king without permission. The philosophy of the Brethren of Purity adopts as its fundamental principle the attainment of moral excellence through aligning with God's morality, and is a philosophy based on the foundation of prophecy and revelation. There is a close relationship between their understanding of philosophy and Socrates' idea of the purification of the human soul. Therefore, according to the Brethren of Purity, philosophy is not just a theoretical pursuit, but also a comprehensive discipline that regulates one's mind, heart, morals, and actions as a whole, as in Stoicism. The philosophy of the Brethren of Purity, presented in the epistles, whose author or authors remain a mystery, is notable for its eclectic structure, blending religion and philosophy, as well as many schools of thought. This school of thought, which has a secret aspect and political goals, became known and influential through its encyclopedic epistles.